Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about blighted maps or how to acquire them. I want to make that clear at the start of the video. This is not about doing these maps, it is about getting them and then selling them. Or, I mean, you could run them obviously, but that is not what this video will be about. It will be about running toxic sewers, running them fast, and going and getting all of these. Now, obviously, this is not all the monies I made in the day. There's also like other stuff. I don't want this video to be about, oh, look at all my loot and you can just, I don't know. I think there's enough videos out there that do that already. I want to tell you how you can actually achieve this, because just telling somebody I ran this map is very little info in my opinion, or I did this and this. But I actually want to guide you through. I'm going to show you a map and how to do it efficiently, how to do it fast. And I'll tell you why Toxic Sewer is right at the start, because there's obviously a lot of Blight videos out there already. It is late in the league. Everybody basically has tried everything. So it's not exactly rocket science to do Lyra Thane with Blight nodes. Like, I'm not going to pretend like it is. But I will show you some slides and tell you why exactly this indoor map is so crazy for Blight and how you can profit off of it. So the number one reason I want to emphasize Toxic Sewers here is because I see a lot of people actually running something like Bestiary, because it's a nice layout, but it is still an open layout, although it is a little bit more confined. But I want to make it clear that it is important that you run Toxic Sewers, and that is for some reasons. So if you imagine Cassia spawning in the map, so it all starts with her and her machine, and then Blight lanes will spawn out of her machine. So basically, the game calculates where it can go, and that will basically spawn usually 4 to 6 lanes, right? That's usually how it works. And every single lane has one reward, other than a lane with a boss that has 2 rewards, because the boss gives an extra reward. So you will have like all nodes with 1 reward, and then 1 node with 2 rewards. So Toxic Sewer is different because it is very, very small. The hallways are really, really small, as I'm going to show you. And the thing is, oftentimes the game cannot calculate more than like 2, 3 lanes. Oftentimes you'll only have 1 lane. And I'll show you 2 slides here, how exactly this looks like. Now, these can be all over the place. I just chose these because the first one is like a more normal example, and the second one is an extreme example. So this would be number 1, right? So in this scenario, we have 3 lanes, which is very, very normal for Toxic Sewers. You usually don't have more than 3. Now, I want to say this right here. The reason it is good to have less lanes is because 1 lane will always be, all of the rewards in 1 lane will always be Blight chests. So Blight oils and Blight maps. So the rewards don't go down. For example, this is a hit like with the Watchstone. I'm going to talk about that later. But usually you will see here, if you have no Watchstones, 2 rewards, 2 rewards, 2 rewards. So instead of 6 lanes with 1 reward each, you'll get 3 lanes with 2 rewards each. The reason that's good is because in the scenario where you have 6 lanes, only 1 of the chests, 1 of those 6, will be Blight guaranteed. That's guaranteed by Blight. But in this case, 2 of them will be Blight chests. So the less lanes you have, the better the rewards. Now, obviously, in this case, we have Watchstones, so we could actually hit 4, and I think that's what I will show you next. But this is a very normal scenario for Toxic Sewers, where the game can only find 3 lanes. And now let's talk about, so this would be how it looks like. And now we got 4 Blighted chests. And that is actually not on the high side. I'm going to show you an extreme example next, because sometimes, depending on where Cassia spawns, it can actually only spawn 1 lane. Now, if it only spawns 1 lane, normally that means you will get 6 Blight rewards, okay? But with the Watchstones I'm about to show you, you will have something like this. So as you see down here, 14, I will show you next slide. This is what it looks like. This is 14 reward chests in 1 map, because the way that Cassia was set up in the map, because it's so confined and so small, it could only find 1 lane. And that lane is guaranteed to always give you Blight oils and maps. So this happened. And this happened in total, I ran 194 maps. This happened 5 times. And what the rewards look like is this. Now, keep in mind, I have a very strict filter. I think Crimson Oil is like the lowest oil I show. So there's like 60 oils there or whatever, but it is about the Blight maps. So that's basically what you can go for with that. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. Now, with toxic sewers out of the way, let's talk about our Watchstones and our strategy in general. So the passive nodes we're taking, our immune response is the most important one. This actually makes it so you get good XP first and foremost, because the Blight actually spawn more mobs and the mobs are faster. So everything will be more efficient, you'll be faster. This node is pretty crazy alone, but you also have this one here. Now, this is kind of an for me. I personally don't go through my maps and then like price them according to if they have an additional Blighted counter or whatever. I find it too tedious to really engage with it. I just sell them for normal price. So for me, this is really useless, but and only a stepping stone up here, but whatever floats your boat. So this one is Blighted chests in areas have 100% more chance to contain Blighted maps, which is on top of toxic sewers, why it's so crazy to have that many Blight chest rewards. Because as you can see, you're actually going to get like a ton of Blighted maps. Like I said, I have 193 maps that I did, and out of that, it was actually more than 144 Blighted maps. I think it was 148, but I just wanted to fill a stash. 148, so you have roundabout 0.75 Blighted maps per map run, and those maps are really, really fast. You have to remember, Toxic Sewers is an extremely fast map, so you will run through them like nothing. And then also Blighted maps found in areas are anointed. Look up what silver oils and golden oils do. I personally wouldn't really go out of your way to price every single tier of anoint. I would just go for golden oil and silver oil, look what they do, see if they maybe sell for more, and then kind of single them out and sell them for a different price than the other maps. Other than that, I actually went with Animal Companion and Natural Selection. So I'm going to talk about that in the Beast section of the video, but these are pretty nice. You can also go for Secret Stash at Inside Job. I personally find it too tedious. Having tried it myself, I find it too tedious to sell contracts and blueprints. The problem with contracts is that at this point in the league, people are actually not really buying contracts anymore, at least not that I've seen. It's just a lot of like stash commitment as well. And what I hate about blueprints, and especially revealed blueprints, is that people will actually trade you, come into your hideout, and then just look at what the rewards is. They don't look up. They don't look it up in PV Trade, or I actually don't know if you can, but they will want to trade with you, then they pretend they want to trade with you. They just want to look at the rewards, and if it doesn't fit what they want, they will just close the trade. I have so many people on my ignore list already because of that, just wasting my time, that I personally don't like selling blueprints anymore. People are not buying them in bulk anymore, I've kind of seen. So that's the reason why I go with beasts. Also because I have like, as you can see down here, I still have like 222 beast missions. So I just wanted to run these down, and I actually had some pretty sweet results, which I'll share later. But about the Watchstones. So there's two types of Watchstones you can run, and only one type that is strictly better than the other. So there is another kind of Watchstone mod that gives you 20% increased chance to drop Blighted maps and oils. Now here's the thing. We already get 60% increased chance from these small nodes, and we have 100% more from Blighted maps. So it's actually not as good. First up, it's not as good as you might think it is. But secondly, this is a really weird but extremely good mod. The 14 node you saw that I showed you earlier is because of this. So 14 chests. So I don't know exactly. This is kind of bugged, all right? So this is not what you think it does. 5% chance to duplicate contained items. It's not like you click on the chest and it's going to give you like 2 of the same Blighted map or like 2 golden oils or whatever. No, that's not how this works. It is actually a little weirder. So it actually duplicates chest rewards. So for example, as I showed you earlier, the example, I think it was it here? Yeah, here. This one here, this is basically just from Well, the base is 6. So usually you drop 6 because instead of 6 lanes, you get 1 lane with 6 rewards. All right, everything there. And now it kind of calculates every single chest and gives it a chance to multiply by 2. Like these nodes, I want to point out, these nodes do not stack, they roll individually. So these 5% chances. So what that means is some of the chests here did not only multiply once, but multiply twice because the baseline is 6, as I said. How do you get from 6 to 14? I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I guess the wording will be adjusted in one of the next patches. It doesn't change much for us, but it's kind of profitable. So definitely go for these Watchstones over anything else. As for Uncharted Realms, I went for the pretty normal nowadays, like Enduring Influence, Secrets of the Stones, Neural Pathways, Remnants of the Past. Now these, as always, if you blast through maps, these will give you a lot of stuff back. They will give you a lot more Synthesis maps. They will give you a lot more Shaper and Elder maps because you're killing more bosses, completing more maps instead of juicing your maps. Sextant modifiers have one additional use. Sure, why not? 25% increased effect of Watchstone modifiers. This brings your 5% to 6.2% chance to duplicate. So that's really, really nice. And I just went for Awakener 9. It is what it is. Not that important in this video. Important is that you get these Watchstones. As for what else to put on your maps, so basically we already talked about Toxic Sewers. I'm using Prime Sextants. Now, I would definitely use Sextants here. I don't think Awakened Sextants are worth it because ever since people are farming Harbinger maps and Nemesis stuff, they kind of are too expensive in my opinion for what they give you. So I think settling on Prime Sextants is totally fine. You don't really get any crazy mods, but you always get some mobs. So more XP if you're leveling Enlightens offhand. Just more maps overall. You're gonna need some really good sustain. Sustaining Toxic Sewers is basically impossible with this kind of strategy. It is what it is. You just buy them in bulk and just run them real fast. It is, yeah, as always. So I would go with Prime Sextants. Personally, you can also go Simple Sextants. Just don't go without them. Now, as for Scarabs, I personally think that Rusted Blights are the best. Now, if you get Polished for basically the same price and you have really good single target, go for Polished. But the additional boss that can spawn can actually slow you down, and it's only one chest more, which isn't really that much. So if it costs more or you have a problem with the Blight bosses, just don't buy these. Like, I don't know. Just go for the Rusted Blights. It's really, really good. As for the Gilded Blights, I think they could be worth it, theoretically. The problem is the pace at which we go through maps. It's really hard to buy these in bulk. Like, if you want to buy these in bulk, you're going to have to put, like, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 C per, while these only cost half. So these are just really, really nice to buy bulk because they're rusted. Everybody has them. People have a lot of them, especially people who farm Simulacrum. These, on the other hand, not so much. So just for efficiency's sake, I would say buy Rusteds in bulk. Now, what you can also do is, so these ones are basically mandatory because you want to have a Blight in every map, just to point that out. That's the whole strategy. Now, Rusted Cartography Scarabs are fine. If you want to run them, it will make your sustain a little easier. You can't sustain with this strat, obviously. That's not what the strat is about. But you can make it a little easier for yourself. And I'm saying that because not a lot of people are running Toxic Sewers for some reason. Like I said, I have no idea. After testing it, it is crazy. But not a lot of people are running it, so buying them in bulk is a little bit sketchy right now. I had no problem. I had 2 people who had 100 of them, and I just bought those. I still have like 80 to go or something. But I am aware that later in the league, the supply gets a little bit diminished. So if you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, go for Rusted Cartography Scarabs. But yeah, nothing else really fancy that you want to do. Most other Scarabs actually prolong your maps, so you will have less Blights, less ultimatums, and less just map completions, so you can farm your Synthesis and your Elder and Shaper Guardian maps. So all of these things together basically make for your monies. Also, I want to mention ultimatums real quick. Obviously, in Toxic Sewers, something like Breach or Legion is pretty shitty. You would usually want to skip it. You can do legions if they're fine. Like legions are always kind of good, but always skip breaches. It is what it is. But for ultimatums, I would say only do the fast ones. Don't do survival. Don't do the stone circle thingies. Just do the defend and the kill mobs. Just to not prolong your map too much. But as always, ultimatum is really, really good. So I wouldn't skip ultimatums ever. But yeah, also something to point out. Oils, you actually don't find as many oils as you think. Like I think in this farming session, I found like 11, 12 golden oils, which sounds a lot, but like it's very, very weird. I think I found more raw, like I almost found more raw exalts than golden oils. So it is what it is. But yeah, don't put too much on your maps. Make them fast and nice, and that's basically it. As for the bestiary part of the video, I wasn't too excited about it, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was kind of free money because I had so many bestiary missions left. I never really run them. At the start of the league, I had some, like, my builds weren't as well-rounded as right now. I didn't have a headhunter or stuff like that. So the red beast just kind of slowed me down. And it seemed like a lot of beast stuff was nerfed this league, so I didn't really go for it. But if you have a lot of them like me, this is probably going to be one of the better, occasions you're going to get to actually use them if you want to use them. And that's because of natural selection. Now this here doesn't really matter. You're going to get a lot of Einhar missions back. But this one is really, really good. And I did feel it. So I'm going to show you in a second. I actually removed all of the beasts I had before so I could see exactly what I would get in those 200-ish maps I ran, 193, yeah. But you do definitely see this. So if you ever want to spend them, probably do it right now. You might as well, other than if you have bad single target. So now where's the meat here? I think we got like 4 bosses. 1, 2, 3, 5 actually. Okay, for rolls. So that's some monies. That's pretty cute. Then we got 6 split beasts, which is really nice. These are arachnid type. They spawn more often in stuff like toxic sewers. And I think they made them more common in general after nerfing them. We got a lot of these. So a lot of just random exalted slams on Warlord, Crusader, like on influenced items. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But yeah, so we got 4 of these. So basically you have this Cray Kick Maw, which you always need for these recipes. So we have 4 of them. So in total, we got like 4 slams on whatever we want, basically. Now, these are, I think, like 50C or something, right? The Frag Wolves. Yeah, the Wolves. We got 9 of them. Then these, we got 10 of these, which aren't worth that much. Some Divines, which is cute. Other than that, nothing too exciting, I will say. I think, like, yeah, 2 6-links. No belt, which is what I wanted to gamble, unfortunately. But yeah, that's basically it. So nothing too exciting. I would say don't really go out of your way and buy scarabs for it. If you love it, I mean, do it, sure. I didn't feel like it was really worth putting money into it to get beasts, but if you have them for free, I would probably go for it. All right, so as for the test map we're going to run right here, it's going to be obviously a Toxic Sewer, a Rusted Blight Scarab, easy as that. We're also going to put some Sextants on. Let's see what we have here. No. Abysses, no. Pack size is good. Additional barrels is good. Everything that gives additional mobs you want. Shrines is also fine because that has additional mobs. And we just put it in here. Now, I usually go for Bloodlines because, like I said, it's annoying to buy Toxic Sewers in this late in the league. So we're going to put on Bloodlines. You can also go for nothing if you don't think it's worth your time. But Einhar, let's just do him. Like I said, not really sure whether it's worth it, but it's kind of free, so why not? Yep, let's see what we got. So let's see if we get a decent-ish outcome or not. So one of the important things is you should always hug one side of Toxic Sewers. So if you go into the middle, you're going to have a bad time. So for example, here, you could go in there, and as you're going to see, it's going to be very awkward to actually complete the map in a short amount of time. Here we have 2 lanes, one with 3 and one with 6 rewards. So if we get lucky, one of those rewards is, the 6 reward is actually going to be Blight, Oils, and Maps, but we don't know. So let's just complete this real quick. This build isn't exactly like made for Blight, but I mean, It's just really, really good for Toxic Series. If you have anything like a Cyclone build, like a Prolif build, everything goes. But just big AoE stuff like Tornado Shot or whatever is maybe not that great. It's like projectile-based builds are probably not at their best in here. I'm just gonna quickly jump forward to the reward section, so we're gonna save some time. All right, and we're done, and we got lucky, which is pretty cool. The 6 turned out to be all Blight chests. Let's just open them real quick. 1 Blighted map, 2 Blighted maps, 3 Blighted maps. There we go, pretty cool. Like I said, average is like 0.75 to 0.8 Blighted maps per map. So for every one of these, you will also have maps where you don't drop any. Don't be discouraged by that, it happens. It's all RNG in the end. Nice boss. So I'm not gonna do the ultimatum just to make the map a little bit quicker. If you have a dead end, just continue hugging the walls. Go here. Now you're gonna see this middle section. You can quickly clear this and go back to normalcy. So this is kind of the layout of Toxic Sewer. It is just a really, really neat map to run. It's really, really efficient. Just a ton of fun. And as you see, there's still 40 monsters remaining, which is the mobs that spawn from the bestiaries, like from the mobs, which you don't really want to stand there forever. They're kind of just a bonus, as I said. But yeah, that's how you would run a map like this. And yeah, depending on how fast you clear it, depending on how well you know the layouts, like always hug one of the walls, you're going to get more or less rewards. But yeah, that's basically how this goes. That's it for the Atlas guide. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. I just forgot to portal out while recording, so I lost 10% XP. So you kind of owe me something, all right? No, but I hope you're having fun with this strat. If you like the layout of Toxic Sewers, you're going to really, really like this. You're going to blast through maps. You're going to make tons of currency with Blighted maps. Also check the TFT server. I'm not affiliated with them. It's just where I sell all my bulk stuff. It's a lot easier than just selling Blight maps one by one. But yeah, with that being said, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.